The travel industry is changing, and if you don't know the differences of planning a trip within the US versus planning a trip to Iceland, then you need to watch this video. Hey, my name is Jeannie, and living in Iceland has definitely taught me that this country is a different animal when it comes to planning. Today, I'm here to help you learn these differences so your planning could be as seamless as possible. Let's get into it. The first difference of planning a trip to Iceland is you cannot wing it. You have to plan ahead. I know that there are some places in the world, or maybe some cities in the world even, that you can just show up not really having a game plan. Iceland is not it. The fact is, some sites or even entire regions are not accessible year-round. Accommodations book up far in advance because there's not enough of them. There's no hotwire.com. You can't book a last-minute hotel, things like that. I talk to tourists every day, and the thing that I hear over and over again is, oh, we're just gonna go without a plan, or we're hoping that we can just book hotels along the way, just kind of show up without, if you don't really know where to stop each night, so you're just gonna wing it. It's a really bad plan. It's really bad. I can't stress enough the importance of planning ahead, researching, knowing everything as much as you can, and having this planned out itinerary before you come to Iceland. The other major difference in planning around Iceland is that there are significantly shorter open hours. This goes for especially things like grocery stores, but different shops and places that you might want to visit, like museums, will have shorter opening hours. And that means that they are opening later and closing earlier than you might be used to. Like I said, the perfect example of this is grocery stores. Some of them don't even open until 9 or 10 in the morning, and a lot of times they close by like 6 or 8 p.m. And this is massively different. Just picture yourself at home in the US, and you're sitting on your couch late at night and you're craving ice cream, so you just want to run to the store. Or if you have a headache and you want to go buy some pain reliever at the pharmacy or, Walgreens or something like that, you can't do that. So knowing about these opening hours is super important, and not expecting things to be open late is a really good expectation to set for yourself. This is definitely just a cultural thing, not just in Iceland, but a lot of Europe as well. And just that work-life balance is a bigger priority. And so instead of having 24-hour, open times, or people staying really late and working these long shifts, they're not doing that. They're going home and spending time with their family. By the way, if you are enjoying these tips in this video and are wanting more planning videos like this, make sure to hit the like button so that I know. Now, let's move on to the next planning difference. And that is the frequency of gas stations. This is kind of a funny thing to say, but it is so true. I'm an American, right? So if I'm planning a road trip, whether it's just, to visit my parents or travel across the country, I'm expecting gas stations to be quite frequent. I'm not worried about running out of gas because I know that I can usually find something. That's not the case in Iceland. In fact, sometimes the gas stations are so few and far between that it can be a little nerve-wracking if your tank is running low. This is why I always recommend people to fill up as soon as they see a station, because you don't always know where the next gas station is. Unless you have my digital maps. In that case, I have marked all of the gas stations on the map, which comes in very handy for travelers. But again, you can't have the expectation that, we'll just, fill up as we get closer to our hotel. That could be a big mistake. So always be aware that the gas station frequency is less. You should fill up as often as you can. Along the very same lines is that the frequency of restaurants is very, very different. By the way, when I'm referring to these points, I'm usually referring to the fact that outside of the city of Reykjavik is very different, right? So when you're getting into the countryside, that's when these things more so apply. Now with the restaurants, again, if you're planning a trip throughout the US, you're like, we'll just hit the road, and when we get hungry, we'll stop and eat. That would not be a good approach in Iceland. You want to have at least knowledge of what's coming up in terms of restaurants or cafes or food trucks, because they just don't happen that often. There are small villages that you're gonna run into along the main roads, of course, but restaurants are not everywhere. You're not gonna see fast food chains popping up on the side of the road or like these quick exits to like a Subway or a McDonald's or something like that. It's just really, it's like not a part of the culture. So sometimes certain sites will have like a cafe right there next to like the waterfall or the geyser or something like that. Other times, maybe the restaurant will be inside of a hotel or sometimes even inside of a gas station. The bottom line is it's unreliable, and not having a plan and not knowing that that is a difference in Iceland would really get you in trouble. So again, I've marked all the restaurants on my map. In case you have it, then you're covered. But just in knowing that, maybe it will save you from some hunger or hanger in my case. The next major planning difference is the fact that there are no rest areas. So again, I'm talking to my US audience. You know what a rest area is, right? It's like an area on the side of the highway. You would pull off, there's like a designated exit, there's parking spaces, there's toilets, sometimes like a vending machine for snacks, like a map of the, of the area, whatever else is at a rest area. Those don't exist in Iceland. Like, they don't. You're either stopping at an attraction, or you're stopping at your hotel, or you're stopping at a restaurant, but you're not, there are no rest areas. So I just thought that was really interesting. Again, I was recently in the US visiting family, and we were driving around and I was like, we don't have those in Iceland. Especially for those people who have never traveled outside of the US, that can be quite a shock. I just wanted you guys to know, these are the major planning differences. I hope you've learned something. I think that they're fun to kind of know, and the differences in the places. So again, now that you know these major planning differences, your next step is to learn about the language, the culture, the currency, and all of those fun things. So make sure to check out this video that's popping up on the screen that goes through the 10 things that you must know before traveling to Iceland. I'll see you in the next video, but until then, happy planning.